Hey guys, today we're back out here on the old bicycle again. We got a mongoose misfit bicycle, full suspension. She's a 21 speed bike. The right off the obvious, you notice there's no wheels to it, no rims at all. The front suspension fork here is seized, and the rear derailleur is actually broke away, so it's basically no good. So being we have the parts from the other bikes that we took apart the other day, we're gonna put the rims on here and the derailleur on here and see if we can get her back going. So the first thing you really want to do is, give her a once-over, make sure there's nothing else needing to be replaced on it, and collect up the parts you want to use. We'll have to change out the fork and change out the rear derailleur and put the new wheels and tires on it. And then she should be good to go. Okay, so like I showed you in the other video there, I just undid the two bolts on the side of the stem and then the one on the top, and the whole fork assembly fell out. Then what you do is you take your fork you took out of this bike, and then you take the one you want to use for parts, hold them side by side, and make sure they're roughly the same height, and this one here is pretty close. So then you take your new fork, take your new fork here, slide her up in the bottom, then out through the top. And that's pretty much what she is. You put your little rings back in there, and then you throw your stem on it, tighten up those bolts, and you've pretty much changed the fork. So yeah, I'll just get her all tightened down and I'll give you guys an update. Okay, so our replacement fork is just about this much higher than what the one that came out of it, so it's a little bigger. But that's okay, that's why you keep these extra rings. You can either put the ring on the top like that, or you can put it here, pull the stem back off and put it between the bottom of the stem and the stack of rings. So yeah, we'll pull it off and then put it all back together. Like I said, we'll tighten down these bolts and she should be changed. Okay, so once you've got everything roughly loosely fitted in, you want to make sure the center of the stem is pointing the same direction as the center bolt on the fork. Basically all you do when it's loose is you just turn it, and when she's all straight, you just tighten the top bolt here down. Doesn't have to be super tight, because this is just an assembly we can go through later on and make sure everything is good and tight. Give her a tighten down, don't tighten her too much. And then the same with that one, these two on the side. These are the ones here that do the main holding. Now, of course, if you remember, the parts bike's got these stamped chrome ones, and this bike here come with black ones. So these are your V-brakes, basically what stops the front wheel of your bike, helps you to slow down. So yeah, we'll just change these over. And how to change them is you just undo the screw, this bolt here. It spins off. slide that off. Slide your new one on. And you see here there's a bit of a pin here. This is your spring. You want to pay attention to the 3 holes beside it. Sometimes there's 3, sometimes there's 1. Then you put your bolt back in there and tighten her down. Make sure the washer stays with it. We'll do the same to the other side, and then we'll drop the front wheel in it. Okay, I got the front wheel on, got the brakes on. I just need to adjust them. Move to the back of the bike here. And of course, like I said earlier, the derailleur is broken. I'm not sure if it'll pick it up, but there's a plastic piece right about here that's actually broke. Probably the most likely cause is due to lack of maintenance or something. The derailleur actually, when you shift up, shifts into the spokes, which catches the derailleur and pretty much almost rips it right off the bike. I've had this happen to me a couple of times. You know, it gets worn or gets old, gets whatever, right? Basically, how you're going to fix this is pretty much just remove and replace once she's broke like this. If you're lucky and you just bend it, sometimes you can actually straighten them, but most of the time it's just a remove and replace. And how you replace that is first thing you do is you undo the cable, pull the cable out and up and out. Then you undo the little bolt here that holds in the cog, drop the chain out, and then the derailleur, you undo it from the frame here, and then yeah, she's pretty much time to replace it. Okay, so once you got the chain all out of it, out of the derailleur, you undo the bolt back here that goes to the ear on the frame. And then, yeah, the derailleur's pretty much changed. You may want to keep this bolt around, you know, for other uses or so. With your new derailleur, a replacement derailleur, you put it back in. There's a little screw here on the back of the derailleur. You want to make sure the screw lines up with this little tab on the ear. And yeah, you just and you pretty much just tighten her in. Then again, just like I showed you on the D-assembly of the parts bike, you undo this here and run the chain through it, and then throw the back wheel in her, hook up the cable, and away she goes. Okay, so now we got the derailleur all changed over here. We'll slide the back wheel in and hook up the cable. Upon closer inspection here, I see the chain has a slight twist in it here. That's expected considering the way the derailleur broke. You know, basically what happens when it hits your rim as you're riding your bike, it spins around. And if you're lucky, it doesn't really do much damage. If you're not, it bends the rim, breaks the spokes, pretty much twists the derailleur almost right off the bike. It can get fairly violent. But we'll slap the back wheel into her and adjust the cable, and yeah, we'll give you an update then. Okay, I'm not sure if this will make it out, but as I suspected, the chain is twisted. It's twisted just down right about there. Now what we're going to do is put a pliers on her and try to bend her back straight, because yeah, she's pretty much has to be straight to go through all the gears and stuff on the bike. So we'll give her a little twist and we'll see if she works. Okay, so right here is where the twist was, and we'll just give her a pedal. If she's bent, she's going to snarl up in here. And it's appearing to be working. So, you know, when you've done a changeover and everything, especially replacing the derailleur, what you want to be able to do is adjust the chain without the cable on, just like that, so the cable's off, not hooked up on tension. You want to adjust the chain so you're able to spin the wheel, basically pedal it, without the chain jumping off or, you know, moving up into the gears. And by doing that, you have your screws down here. You have your high gear screw for your small, and then your low gear screw that does your big one. So I've got this one all adjusted. So we'll hook up the tension on it, and then we'll adjust the high gear screw, which, like I said before, controls the big one. Before you hook up your cable, you want to make sure up on the handlebar here, you're not into like a third gear or something. You want to make sure you're into your your high gear, which would be 7th, and then you hook up your cable. And for that, you just run it through. You have your little eyelet here. Run your cable down and in. Now I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a little channel right there, right here. Kind of helps to pinch the cable. So you run it through there till it comes out the other side. Make sure everything's taut. You know, not super tight, but tight enough. Go along the whole length of your derailleur cable. Make sure it's not hung up on any of these little journals or little carriers like this. And then give this little nut there a tighten, and you've got the high gear setting and your beginning of your adjustment done. Okay, so I got everything hooked up, but I've hit a bit of a snag. The twist shift here is broken up at the front. It's not a grip shift, it's a twist shift or some type of knockoff. So I'll have to change them, but one of the bonuses is when you have a parts bike, you can do that. Underneath here there's a little set screw. You take your Allen wrench, loosen it off. Not too much because you don't want it to fall out, but then she's loose. And on this one I only have to change one, but I might as well change two, then that way they look the same, because my parts are different. Okay, so now that she's changed, then you just slide these grips off, and then these slide off, and you put your new ones on. So we'll just get them changed. Okay, so once you've got the old grip shift off, you take your new ones, slide them on next to the brake lever with the little tab facing inward. Of course, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 goes on your right hand side, and the 1, 2, 3 goes on the left, because that is what controls the shifting in the appropriate areas. And then you got this little plastic ring, slides back over top. And then you put your little rubber handle grip back on. And there you go. That's now we just got to string the cable back to the derailleur and see if she works. Okay, so I've got the replacement grip shift run. I have the cable all the way run down to the back here. Have her all hooked up, and we'll just give her a run here to see if she's working. Okay, so she shifts up into low gear, which is the big ring here. And when you're setting it, you want to make sure the chain is gonna like mesh with the gear as it spins around. So you don't want it to be like way in, and you don't want it to be way out. This one here is pretty good. So I think we'll just oil it up and call her good. Now we'll work on hooking up the front one here for the shifting, and give it a test as well. Okay, so we got our cable strung. Before we put the tension to her, we'll set the low or the high on the front. Basically, you want it to spin without either jumping off the inside or wanting to climb. If you have to adjust it, then it's this inside screw. On this model anyway, it's the inside screw. Once you have her all tightened, or all adjusted, you just tighten the cable, and then you adjust the low one, which does the big ring here on the front. So we'll get her all adjusted, and then we'll give her a once over. Okay, so she shifts up into the big ring. Now if you listen here, you hear it rubbing. Now it's rubbing on the inside of the derailleur. So for adjust that, then you adjust this front screw. You adjust her down. Give her a couple turns until she doesn't rub anymore. Then when she doesn't rub anymore, then run her through the gears to make sure you didn't throw anything off. Okay, so I got all the shifting set. Got, of course, like you saw, the derailleur changed over, the front shifting all set, the grip shift all changed over. We just have to adjust the brakes. Basically, what's going on is the rims that were on it from factory were narrower, and the rims that I'm putting onto it are a little wider. So what you got to do is you just have to adjust it so so you can get the cable into this little sling, as well as the pads. They need to contact the rim to be straight up and down. If they're at an angle or they're not contacting fully, then they're not working properly. Well, there you go, guys. She's all together. Brakes are all adjusted and everything. Shifting's all good. I'm going to throw some air in the tires and then take it for a test ride. Well, there she is, guys. She's all cleaned up, all good to go. Give her a tune-up, give her a once-over. It's not a complete rebuild, but it was definitely a project. So yeah, we'll see how she goes, and hopefully the new owner has use out of her.